Um, Here's a book that one day you'll all be familiar with, and I would like to make Hegelian logic intelligible to the common people, which in my view are a reflection of myself, and to give you an illustration of what Hegelian logic is. Many people know the movie The Matrix, the one that came out in 1999, and in the movie there's a scene where you have those green numbers flowing on the screen, and they are the code of the matrix, and the matrix is a delusion, an hallucination, and it is only the reflection, the phenomena in the matrix are the reflection of the code numbers that appear on the screen in the real world, so to speak. And there's a scene where one of the operators look at the screen with all the green numbers, and he sees in the numbers flowing, he represents intellectually the images in the matrix. He doesn't need to be in the matrix to understand it. And that could be a representation of Hegel's logic, that the world is a manifestation of Hegel's logic. He himself says in the introductory part of the book that the logic of Hegel is the presentation of God in his abstract essence before the creation of the world and of a finite mind. So it is God in the abstract. And what you see in the world are the images projected by the eternal logical ID, because nature, the world of time and space, is a reflection, an alienation of the eternal ID. And the purpose of man as a finite mind or a finite spirit is to see the infinite, the logical ID, in the finite, in the world of nature, and that's the reconciliation of the infinite and the finite, and that's true infinity, because the finite and the infinite are not opposed to one another, but the infinite contains the finite within itself. That's the view that Christian religion gives of God, that God makes himself finite and enters the world, and so the infinite becomes present to the finite, and therefore it becomes truly infinite. And yeah, and there's this scene that many people know about where Neo, the One, sees the world within the matrix as it really is, namely green numbers and codes flowing and moving, and he sees the true nature of things. And Hegel says that philosophy is divine truth for a select few, religion is for the many, and in our age, at least in the West, many people are atheists, so art through pop culture and modern culture, movies, video games, songs and all that, is divine truth for the vast majority of people. So yeah, but they are actually one. There's only one and the same truth, and my purpose is to show you the connection between the world of phenomena and the eternal logical ID developed by Hegel. And when you grasp the infinite within the finite, you experience God. And I will read a few lyrics by a song from Bad Religion. I want to conquer the world. Here is what it says. Hey, man of science, with your perfect rules of measure, can you improve this place with the data that you gather? Can I improve the world by connecting together the data that I gather from my readings and the experience of the world? I think I can, because understanding the finite world as it is in the mind of God is what Hegel calls infinity or speculative thinking or mysticism, and what Spinoza calls the third kind of knowledge, to see the archetypes, how things are in the mind of God, and now how they appear in the realm of the finite. And when the two coincide, you experience God. I want to conquer the world, give all the idiots a brand new religion, put an end to poverty, uncleanliness and toil, promote equality in all of my decisions, with a quick wink of the eye and a "God, you must be joking." God, by entering his own creation, makes himself an idiot. Me. Philip K. Dick says that God enters his own creation as a trash. So that's why God is not all-knowing. He doesn't see things as they are in the realm of the eternal logical idea. He needs images, representations, experiences to understand. So from the stupid, he has to elevate himself to the intelligent, and this is an alchemical transmutation. And the more you elevate yourself, the more you have to share the knowledge that you have gathered with those who are on a lower level of consciousness, from which you yourself have started. And you have to share this knowledge and try to elevate themselves to the same level of consciousness you're at. And when two minds meet one another with the same spiritual content, they become one, and that's infinity. So, yeah. And I want to conquer the world. We'll have peace on earth and global communion. But those who want to conquer others are less strong than those who can conquer themselves, because in the absolute, the other is the self. So the strongest conquest and most difficult is to conquer oneself. And when you are master of yourself, you are free and independent of any other, and you are self-subsistent. And that's why the Stoics in Stoic philosophy said that you can be free in the middle of chains. Even if you're a slave, if you elevate your mind, you can liberate yourself and become absolute in a way. And just to add something, Plato's cave, the myth of the cave, the elevation of the soul towards the contemplation of the sun, is an idea in the mind of God. And the Wachowski brothers, or sisters, and actually that's the same thing, the Wachowski brothers have been inspired by Plato and produced the movie The Matrix. And The Matrix, the movie, is an idea in the mind of the Wachowski brothers and sisters. And so it's a reflection of a reflection. And I am trying to give you the interpretation of the reflection upon the matrix, and therefore the reflection upon a reflection upon a reflection, which is the speculative meaning of Plato's cave, Matrix, the movie, and Hegel's logic. And hopefully it can help you, and that's the whole purpose of cultural Hegelianism. So, yeah.